Okay, I'm hoping that I'm live. I just wanted to do a very quick update on Anthony Riley's latest rather sad effort, and because something occurred to me as I was driving earlier on today. So I'm just going to share my screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm looking at. So if we look at Anthony's latest video, entitled "Flat Earth Shine is Not a Thing." Um, I and others have pointed out that he doesn't address the question of Earthshine at all in this experiment. The experiment itself, in inverted commas, it's not really an experiment, doesn't address Earthshine at all. Anthony makes some claims about Earthshine, but he doesn't address it. The other problem with this opening piece in his video is the claim that an experiment is to prove something. Experiments don't prove things. Experiments are designed to test hypotheses. They gather data and information and observations that will either support or not support a given hypothesis. And in extreme cases, they can disprove a hypothesis, but they cannot prove anything. When enough experiments are performed testing a particular hypothesis, then and enough experimental data is gathered that supports a given hypothesis with no experimental data not supporting it, then that hypothesis can be thought of as likely to be true. But once again, it's not proven to be true, because there's always the possibility that a new piece of information, a new observation or experiment will demonstrate that it is not actually true and something else is in fact the true case. So as I said, I want this to be quick. I found Anthony's presentation here rather garbled. Mine is never very good. I don't do these things scripted because I simply don't have the time to work on writing scripts and making really fancy videos. I wish I did, but I don't. If we move on to about 12 minutes or so into Anthony's video, we can see what he actually has as a setup here. What he has is a glass ball in his hand and a torch in his hand. I'm absolutely certain this is not the torch here, because it wouldn't be shining light onto the plate like it is. And all through the video, he's shining the light through the glass ball. So there's a torch in his hand against a glass ball, and he's projecting light onto the wall here. And this is the setup of the experiment where he's trying to reproduce the eclipse. And he uses a white ceramic plate to hold between the light source here, the glass ball and the torch, and the wall, and the shadow of the plate is cast over the light circular light reflection on the wall. Now, the point I wanted to make about this is, and I allude to it in my other video, is that this in no way mirrors the heliocentric model at all. It is wrong in so many ways. We won't bother going into it. But what Anthony is actually doing here, it appears, is setting up the idea that the sun, that's the light on the wall here, is in fact a projected image. So this is, in reality, he would be claiming that the sun is projected onto the firmament, as crazy people say. There's no evidence of a firmament, but let's go with it. So the wall is representing the firmament, the glass ball and the torch are representing this fantastic cosmic projector that projects the sun, and the plate is representing the moon. And is claiming, I believe, and I'm sure Anthony will correct me if I've got this wrong, that an observer on the other side of the wall, if they could see, if the wall was transparent rather than a solid non-transparent object, but if it was a transparent thing, an observer on the other side would see if the moon passed between the projector and the reflected light on the firmament, the wall, would see the light blocked by the moon passing through here. Okay, so this is perhaps the model, the explanation for eclipses that Anthony is trying to put forward. What he does in his experiment, in quotes, because it's not really an experiment, is photograph, or get a friend to photograph from somewhere behind this projector, because we can see the projector in the image, from somewhere behind this glass ball and torch projector. Take this image, okay, and what he does is he shows that this image does not resemble, does not match the images that were taken during the eclipse of the sun. Now, there may be lots of reasons why this image does not match what we observed in reality. But Anthony, you have set up the projected sun image with the moon passing between the projector and the sun, and you have demonstrated here that does not match within the confines of this experiment reality. The real pictures taken of the eclipse. So your experiment, far from demonstrating any evidence that the heliocentric model is wrong, if anything at all, and I would probably argue that your experiment demonstrates absolutely nothing other than a plate casts a shadow on a wall and a torch and a glass ball can project a light onto a wall. But if it does say anything about the solar system and the eclipse at all, what it says is that the projected sun model and moon passing between projector and the projected image of the sun does not match what we see in reality. So you've actually provided, if anything at all, evidence that there is no projector and the sun is not projected onto the firmament, and that the moon does not pass between the projector and the projected image. So well done, Anthony. You have once again managed to provide perhaps a little evidence that is completely opposite to what you intended. I don't particularly want this hangout to go on any longer. If I can get back to here, doesn't look like there's anybody in chat, so hopefully a few people will spot this a bit later. I see I've got a couple of viewers down here. So I'm going to stop this broadcast because I don't want it to be long. But Anthony, I'd be very interested to hear what you think, having heard this. So I hope you see it at some point. Okay, cheerio for now, folks.